Hello, Geek Army, and welcome to a special bonus edition of Geekdom Q&A. A little bit of a bonus episode. Like I said, I want to get some of these questions out of this queue. 218 questions, quite a bit to answer. I'm recording this Q&A Saturday morning here on the East Coast of the United States of America before Dragon Ball Super is set to begin. So I'm going to be answering some questions here. It won't be too long of a Q&A, but you can always expect another big Q&A coming up this weekend, I think, or next weekend, that is. Whenever the hell, soon, all right? How about that? This is just a bonus one. You're going to get another one very, very soon. And the quality on this video should be a lot better than it was for the last couple ones. I'm trying to work the kinks out of this thing, so here we go. Without any further ado, let's go ahead and jump into these questions. Starting at the bottom like we always do, working our way up. How come the English dubs are so inaccurate when it comes to the translations to the point where regular people can point out the flaws? Shouldn't the translators be top-notch, or should they just didn't care about the American viewers at the time? I'm going to do a video eventually about the Dragon Ball Z English dub in North America, Funimation, Ocean, and Harmony Gold. I've already got a video that I finished about the big green dub, which should be a fun video. Look for that in the next few weeks. But so I'll go into explicit detail here. But to answer your question, it's difficult to translate Japanese. So I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt in that translating Japanese can be a bit of a challenge because there's several different versions of Japanese language, katakana, kanji, of course, you know, different dialects and different meanings for things in Japan, so it can be a little bit of a challenge to do that. That being said, though, when Dragon Ball Z was first being dubbed back in 1995, there were a lot of issues with editing due to their, I guess, I don't know how to really word it, but basically they were kind of looking to make the show more kid-friendly, so they hired their own composer. They edited a lot of the sexual and the violence, but they, you know, in turn, they also edited a bunch of extra stuff that wasn't violent or sexual, just cutting down the episodes heavily. Now, we're talking about the translation, though, not really the editing. It's very interesting as to why they're so inaccurate. With Kai, they fixed it. With Z, it was because they were actually translating it from the Spanish version, and when you translate from a translation, you're going to lose something. Something will get lost in translation, right? But at the same time, they did do some very, very strange and unexplained script changes, which I am not a fan of. And these are purposeful script changes, not accidental script changes. So why they did it, I don't know, but it honestly caused a big issue in the community. I feel like if Dragon Ball was edited correctly from the start and translated correctly, we wouldn't have these problems, but can't win them all. So that is that. I don't know if I really answered that question to the best of my abilities. I mean, I'm going to do a video about it in more detail, but you're right. The translators should be top-notch, and therefore, if you're watching the Stephen J. Simmons version of Dragon Ball, which is the subtitled version that he subbed, that's about a 99% accuracy. And the reason why I say 99% and not 100% is because I've seen him fuck up a couple times and call Kakaroto Goku. Just a basic mistake. I wouldn't think it's anything crazy. So hope that answered your question, but I'm going to go into more detail about like the behind the scenes in a future video. What if Kid Trunks and Goten made an appearance in Fakatsu no F? Do you think there would be any changes in the movie, like Freeza tried to kill them, etc.? You're asking me to do fan fiction. That's a different kind of what if there. It's not really like a situational or a what if based on cause and effect. It's more so like what if they were in the movie and they fought. Personally, I'm going to just quickly go through this. I would have loved it if Frieza killed Kid Trunks, or not, maybe not killed him, but at least, you know, kidnapped him or something. Of course, we all thought that this film took place, before we got the information, we all thought it took place 3 years after Battle of Gods. It actually takes place a little closer to 1 year after Battle of Gods. Spoiler alert, by the way. So the answer to your question is, if it was 3 years, we all kind of thought that Frieza would kill Teen Trunks, thinking that it was the same one from the future, which would have been kind of funny, but also would have made sense. And he may have killed Goten, thinking he was Goku. You know, that would have made sense too. And then he would have kind of thought that everything was cool, and then the real Goku shows up and it's on. That was always my idea. Now, if you're not going to go that angle, I would have loved to have seen them fuse into Gotenks and use the Super Ghost Kamikaze attack on all of Frieza's men. Maybe it would have been too easy, but it still would have been cool if, like, the Z fighters were kind of overwhelmed, and then Gotenks comes in there and Super Ghost Kamikaze attacks the fucks. I think that would have been awesome. So I definitely think if Trunks was in the movie, Frieza would have tried to kill him at least, because that's the guy who really killed him, you know? I mean, it was implied. It really was. Q&A spoiler. Here we go. More Resurrection F spoilers here. In Resurrection F, when Beerus and Whis were fighting over the amount of strawberries, Beerus commented that he didn't care anymore because he is a god. Do you think he was implying that Whis was not a god? No, I don't think he was implying that at all. Whis is a being called Whis, and it seems to me the way that they promoted him in Dragon Ball up until now, he is beyond a god. He is a level above a god. Maybe he is a god too, actually. I don't know if you can really go beyond a god, but in the hierarchy, he's definitely higher than Beerus and probably Champa as well. So I don't think he was implying that at all. I think Beerus was just saying, "Hey, I'm a god. Did you forget?" I mean, you know, I'm assuming that Whis chose him. So after what we have gotten, Battle of Gods, Resurrection F, Champa, and possible unrevealed villains or characters, do you think this actually happened in the 10-year gap? To answer that question, what you're referring to, for those who don't know, is at the end of Z, which is the last 3 episodes of Dragon Ball Z and the last volume, or the last few chapters, I think the last chapter of the manga, it's the 10-year gap, which is, you know, the Oob thing and the tournament. I don't know why some people, I don't know where this nasty rumor started that Oob is non-canon. Oob is in the fucking manga. Like, what the fuck? So, I don't know, but that being said, I don't know. Maybe people associate Oob and Pan with GT. That's what I'm thinking, that people just forgot. But did it actually happen? I would have to say, unfortunately, yes, it did. But the reason why he's asking this, guys, is because it's implied that there was a peaceful 10 years. And if shit like this is going down, I mean, Battle of Gods could have been an isolated incident. Yo Son Goku could have been an isolated incident. But now we've got 3 isolated incidents. And if you ask me, Frieza coming back to life and blowing up a city, which he does in Fakata no F, yeah, that's not peace, bro. But hey, it's whatever. Do you think Goku and Vegeta actually have gotten that powerful in those years until Goku met Uba the Tenkaichi Budokai? That, I mean, obviously that wasn't the case when it was written, but I suppose now, I guess they are. I mean, who am I to argue? I don't see it being that big of a contradiction, but what it does do is it makes Oob that much more impressive, that he was able to at least land a few hits on Goku, even though Goku may not have been serious during that fight. I think Oob might actually be stronger now after seeing those 2 movies. Little sip of iced tea here for the working man. If you're paying them gimmicks in the mail called bills, or going to school to earn a career so you can pay them gimmicks in the mail called bills, this one's for you. Damn, that's a good brew. Let's move on to the next one. Hey Geekdom, keep up the great work. I wanted to ask you if you would ever consider doing videos with the big DBZ tubers like QAAMAN, already done, Rhymestyle, already done, Toasty, and Thundershot. It could really help out your channel. This was posted 13 days ago. I'm pretty sure the QAAMAN video I did, or the first one, was actually up more than 13 days ago. So whenever they asked us, they didn't know about it. As far as Toasty and Thundershot, Toasty, I don't even know, but Thundershot, with Thundershot, I actually did do a video with him. It was me, QAAMAN, Thundershot, James Kazarnik. We were talking about is Dragon Ball Z a kid's show? Lots of inside information on that one. That video should be up on QAAMAN's channel in the coming weeks. I don't know exactly when it's going up, but it is going up. And that's pretty much the only collaboration I've done with Thundershot. I may do a wrestling video with him one of these days. This has come to be. Do you know how people say the character should be a spirit if they die? Do you think there are spirits? They are spirits, but we can see them as who they are, unlike the characters that don't matter, like in Fusion Reborn. I don't really understand the question, but what I think you're talking about is when a character dies in Dragon Ball, what happens in the manga is they tell you that if you die and you're an evil person, you get sent to hell and have your soul cleansed. Otherwise, you go to heaven. We don't actually see heaven in the manga or hell, but it is talked about. And those little cloud things that we saw in the, in the anime, I believe those are actually spirits who have lost their bodies and they're kind of clouds forever. But again, I'm not 100% sure on that. Just remember that Fusion Reborn is a movie and therefore doesn't go by the manga, so it's difficult to really say that. I like the concept of that movie, though. I will say that, but I don't really understand the question that much. Just don't get mixed up between the manga and the anime, because there are contradictions there. To follow up on my last question about the spirits, is it really an inconsistency? Yes. What do you think about a superhuman power-up? Example, Tien or K-Man, that is Krillin, getting a god or other significant power-up. I would love it if they kept Tien relevant. I mean, they kind of brought him back in Fakatsu no F. He has some action in there. Same thing with Krillin. I don't know if they're ever going to be on the level of Goku and Vegeta ever. I would like to see, it would be awesome if they did like something with these guys that was kind of impressive, but I don't see them being able to compete with these high-level characters ever. I mean, honestly, I just don't see it happening. But who knows? Who knows? I mean, again, it's whatever Toriyama wants, really. Was the Goku thing where he said he could have defeated Buu when he went all in SSJ canon or a dub mistake? No, that is not a dub mistake. Goku did say that. Because I originally watched the Spanish dub, the Latin one, not the Spain trash that we have over there. Actually, here they have the Latin one. I don't know, the Spain one. The only time I've ever seen the Spain dub, and there's like 5 of them, by the way, is on a bootleg GT tape that I had like 15 years ago, and I was very jarring. I didn't understand. By the way, this is from Aaron Aranda. Then the English one. Do you think Goku was underestimating Buu? Yes. I have for years. I have always thought that Goku was absolutely underestimating Fat Buu and Kid Buu. I don't think that Goku could beat Fat Buu or Kid Buu as SSJ3. I know a lot of people listening will disagree. A lot of you guys might disagree. No, I do not think so. I think there's too much power there. He's way too durable. He regenerates way too much. I do not believe that SSJ3 Goku could beat Buu. And that's one thing that kind of makes Goku's character a little bit annoying. I know somebody asked this recently about obnoxious and kind of what I'm talking about. Just Goku saying, oh, I could have beaten Fat Buu, but I wanted the kids to do something. Little bit kind of like fuck you, you know, kind of thing. Like, come on, this guy's not a pushover. You know, I think if he went all in against Fat Buu, he would have done the same thing that happened before. He would have burnt out. Now, of course, you know, a lot of you guys are probably saying, but D, he was in his spirit form. He didn't have his body because he was dead. Okay, sure, that might be true, but that would have decreased his time on Earth significantly to the point where he probably would have had to go back to the other world before he could finish off Fat Buu, because Fat Boo's way too durable. So no matter which way you slice it, I just don't think that Goku at SSJ3 could have beaten Fat Buu or Kid Buu, clearly evident by the manga and the anime. And I don't like that line. It is something that he said, but I thought he came off a little cocky. Back to Aaron Aranda also asked, back to basics. When Kid Goku defeated King Piccolo, then met Popo and Kami, if it wasn't for Goku, the world would have been taken over, right? Yes, that is pretty much implied. Why didn't Popo or Kami stop him if both were stronger? Popo, Mafuba, good day, even if to control him if Kami threatened to kill himself or something. Well, the answer to that question is because Toriyama had not thought of it yet. That's the meta answer. And for those of you watching this video who have not seen Dragon Ball, first of all, get on that shit. I'm tired of saying that. Go watch Dragon Ball all the way through. But basically, Mr. Popo in Dragon Ball was way stronger than Goku. And that's a good question. Why didn't Popo just jump in there and beat Piccolo? Well, at the end of the day, he may have. It may have been one of those things where there may have been quote-unquote divine intervention, and Popo may have actually jumped in there. We don't know. Goku killed him before we could find out. Maybe if Piccolo kept being a dick, eventually Popo would have beat him. Who knows? I mean, who really knows? But there's a rule, like an unwritten rule, that if Kami can't get involved, Popo can't get involved. But we will never know the answer to that. Favorite DBZ character? I like Fat Buu. I like Freeza. I like Vegeta. I like Future Trunks. Those are my 4 off the top of my head. That's it. I mean, those are my 4. I mean, really, I never really had like a favorite character because it changed so many times throughout the years. Teen Gohan, of course, is another favorite. Favorite DBZ game? Okay, there's a lot of stuff here. We got a loaded question. I'm going to go through these one at a time, all right? Favorite DBZ game? I love Xenoverse. I love Burst Limit. I love Budokai 3 and 2. I can't pick between those two. I love Supersonic Warriors. I love Dragon Ball Z Legends. I love Super Butoden 2. I'm just throwing some names out there. Favorite game probably would be Xenoverse, but the best fighting mechanics without question are from Burst Limit. That was my favorite fighting game, Dragon Ball Z, and I really wish they would have made another one. If they put the Burst Limit fighting system in Xenoverse, that would have been awesome. Favorite fusion can be non-canon, probably Gogeta. And or SSJ4 Gogeta, and what's a fusion you'd like to see? I would love to see Goku and Gohan fuse. I would love to see Trunks and Vegeta fuse. I would love to see what would happen if Gotenks and Gogeta fused. If two fused characters fused into one, that would have been fantastic. Favorite Super Saiyan form? I like the new one, SSG God SS. But before that, or SSJ God SS, my bad. But before that, I loved SSJ2. I loved it. Least favorite Super Saiyan 4, I don't like SSJ3. It's just the long hair just looks kind of distracting, and I just don't like it. It's okay. Favorite attack? Final Flash is up there. Piccolo's Makanko Sapo, or as the dub fans would know it as the Special Beam Cannon. I love those two attacks. I love, here's some underrated ones. I love Gerudo's Time Freeze technique. Or Mr. Guldo, I think his name was in the dub. Same shit. There's not that much of a difference. Love his time freeze technique a lot. Rikumi Racer Gun is pretty awesome. I'm just saying, I like those moves. Nappa's little two-finger thing is pretty cool. Would you donate to Goku's Genki-Dama? Absolutely. Thoughts on the way Death Battle depicts DBZ series? I could care less about Death Battle. I don't know. I mean, it's a good idea, and I wish I'd thought of it, but I never watched those, honestly. All right, I'm back. I got a phone call. Actually, that phone call was, I believe, from the QAAMAN himself, so I had to pause the video there. I should be recording again. Let me double check. It looks like I am. All right, so let's keep going. Do you think Broly is overrated? It's just that the Broly fan base... Yeah, I mean, I would say, yeah. The Broly fan base is very strange because I can understand liking Broly, but if you like him to the point where you're literally, like, infusing your own reality into Dragon Ball, where you're saying fucking retarded shit, I'm sorry to use that word, but if you're one of those Broly fans who's like, hey, Broly could be Beerus. No, you're fucking stupid. You're really fucking stupid. Like... Seriously, get over the Broly shit. Like, okay, again, if you're a fan of Broly, that's fine. But if you're one of those tards who actually thinks that Broly could beat Majin Buu and all this shit, you're just like, fuck, bro. Like, there's this thing between your ears called a brain. Use it. There's your little rant from me. Thanks for answering those questions. And also, I have an idea I think you should make into a vid. Since you broke down the fighting tactics of Goku and his effort to defeat Freeza on Namek, and that's Dragon Ball In-Depth #1, maybe you can look at the signature attacks in the series and judge how useful they are in battle. That's a long video. That might actually be better suited for a series, but I will take that into consideration. I was talking to this dude about Superman Prime versus Goku. I said Superman would brutally rape Goku. I think so too. And after a while, he accepted defeat and admitted that Goku would lose badly. He said Whis could beat Prime, but I think Superman Prime would win. Whis hasn't done much, but who do you think will win? Superman Prime can, like, bench press the Omniverse. Superman Prime wins. I'd hate to say it, I love Dragon Ball, but come on now. Superman Prime is like the most OP character ever. You want to say Broly is OP? Jeez, dude, this guy's really OP. Do you like Frieza's new golden form? Yes. Do you think the less is more approach worked out well? Toriyama's always done it. Or do you think Frieza's new form was lazy and as good as the original final form is, a simple recoloring wasn't good enough for the new form? I like it, bro. Fans need to shut the fuck up. They sit there and they bitch about canon, not canon, blah, 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 blah. And then, oh, Toriyama, this is so lazy. So what would have been more lazy if he copied Cooler, which he didn't even create, or copy this? I mean, give me a break. I thought it was fine. Not copy this or made this. I think it's fine. The whole idea behind Frieza being gold is that it's supposed to be the duality of him getting beaten by a golden-haired warrior. That's the entire purpose why he chose gold. It's not said in the movie, but it is implied. And that's how Toriyama works with duality. Just pay attention to the series and you'll pick up on that. Hey, I know who this is from. Hey, Geekdom! What if King Cold and Frieza did the fusion dance and then Potara fused with Super Perfect God Cell? Would they be able to be at future Broly with a severe hemorrhoid flare up after watching a tape of Goku crying for 5 years straight like Doomsday? Yes. Is it mentioned in the manga or anime that Rax is the same power level as the Saibai Man? I have heard this, but is there any evidence behind it? From Ashley Danoa. I apologize if I'm not saying your name right. And the answer is yes. Vegeta and Nappa. I forget if it was Vegeta or Nappa when they grow the Saibai-Man. And yes, folks, it's pronounced Saibai-Man, not Saiba-Man. Saibai is Japanese for, I think, soil. So that's where it comes from, man of the soil. Anyways, when they create the Saibai-Man, I believe Vegeta and Nappa say that they're equal to Radix. I do believe, yes. So that is in the anime. So check it out in Japanese and you'll hear it. I don't know if they say it in the dub. I never saw the redub of Season 1 of Dragon Ball Z. I saw a little bit of it, but I never saw like this part, so I couldn't tell you. Does Boo get stronger when he eats people? I don't think so. I do not think so, especially not humans. I don't think it has. If it does, it doesn't have an adverse effect on him like it does Cell. All right, we're at 200. Last question from Ashley, and then we're going to get to some more next time. What is your favorite and least favorite Dragon Ball filler segment? My favorite Dragon Ball filler is the Gohan stuff when he's training and they're Mr. Robot and the dinosaur and the orphans. That's like literally the best filler ever. In my opinion, the character development is fantastic. I love the Dragon Ball, not Z filler. Goku meeting the fisherman. I was talking to BLACKENFIST about this the other day. Love that. I love when Goku travels back in time. All that training stuff, I love it, love it. I don't know how I feel about the random episodes where he goes to the demon world. Those are okay, but I love that filler. Least favorite, the middle of the Garlic Jr. saga is kind of really boring. The early Otherworld tournament kind of sucks, but it gets good in the last 3 episodes or so. The fake Namek seemed like a huge waste of time. I don't hate it anymore, but it's just pointless. So I would say those are some of my least favorite Dragon Ball filler segments, and I already told you what my favorites are. I can't think of anything else off the top of my head that I think is my favorite or least favorite. So that's going to do it for this Geekdom Q&A. Expect another one later on. Like I said, I'm taping this on Saturday, the 4th. So, happy 4th of July, belated, because it's going to go up later. I don't know exactly when, but expect another one coming very soon, and I will catch y'all down the road.